Good evening, Soul Warriors. Happy Saturday. It is Tara, and we are on day 6 of 28 Days to Peace. So I was just looking over my notes on that day back in September. And on that day, I actually took a break and I spent some time with a friend that I trusted that asked a lot of really, really good questions when I was telling them what I was doing. And I've mentioned this a few times, how you really get deeper into your process when you share it with other people. And I realized that by doing that, I found out where I really was because I was listening to myself intently because I was being so super aware because of the peace process, that I was listening to myself tell the story. Because I was really super curious to see if I was telling it in a slightly different way or what, if anything had shifted from how I've usually been telling it. I'm only 6 days into the process at this point, but I was, I like to be an overachiever and get things done quickly, so I was hoping this story would really shift. But they asked me a lot of really good questions, and I realized that I had been focusing on things outside of me, trying to recapture a feeling. And we all know feelings happen inside, and I was attributing all of those feelings to this person I was in a relationship with, this friendship, this job. So looking totally outward, and we all know that change can only truly come from inside. When we all make inside changes, that's when the outside starts to reflect it. And so trying to recapture a feeling from the past with people who have changed and, businesses that have changed and I've changed, trying to recreate the same thing, it really doesn't make any sense. It's kind of ridiculous. So I think we do that a lot, especially with relationships and friendships. Those are relationships too. That we try to recapture a feeling, like we met somebody and we connected really quick and everything felt really strong. And you're like, oh my God, this could be my new person. Like, this is my new friend. This is my new lover. This is so exciting. And we get caught up in the adrenaline of all of it. Because we're always looking for similarities. And when there's a lot of similarities, like all those buttons start to, light up and boxes start to get checked. And we go more with the adrenaline feeling than with reality and logic. So when everything starts to shift and settle, after you've known somebody for a while, that's when you find out where you're really at with them. And sometimes not for many years. I mean, the friendship that I was dealing with in this process was well over a decade friendship that blew up. So, yeah. So catch yourself if you're trying to recapture a feeling, because trying to recapture feelings with the same people or same circumstances, 99% of the time, you're going to fail miserably, because you can't recreate the past like that. So you need to be able to get out and create new situations and meet new people if you want to find those similar feelings in your existence. I also realized through that conversation that I had been willing, this one really bothers me. It bothered me when I just read it and I put this little angry face next to it in my journal. I was willing to try bending my integrity to fit into somebody else's life. And anybody that knows me, I'm super big on value and morals and integrity and honor and valor. And like all those things are like, my top 5 things that are important in my life. My word is my bond. I do my best to have my actions follow my words. And if I catch myself where I don't, or somebody else realizes and brings it to my attention, I rectify it as quickly as absolutely possible. And I know this isn't the norm out there, and it's super frustrating to myself and super frustrating to other people who really try to walk in integrity in all times. And then realizing that I was willing to bend my integrity to fit into somebody else's life to try to recapture a feeling. I was like, no, what the fuck was I thinking and doing? And no fucking way. Like, I'm not bending who I am because you can't get your shit together. And I mean, it was done on like lots of pretty words and trust and love and, giving second, third, fourth, and fifth chances, way more chances than anyone should ever have or get. Believing the I'm sorry's, I'll do betters way too many fucking times. I mean, in that moment, I was attempting to choose love, and in the other situation, attempting to choose friendship over what I really knew in my soul, in my gut, and my core to be true, that people were not walking in integrity, were not making things right when they knew they had fucked things up, were blowing a bunch of bullshit up my ass, basically, and I was buying it. Yeah, not good, valuable friendships or relationships or types of things that I want in my life. So that really bugged me, that I realized how much I had been bending my integrity to try to move the line to keep these people in my life. And yeah, that was a big shift for me, because I don't do that. I don't think that's okay. It does not feel okay in my soul, so it is not okay for my being. So that helped me shift a lot right there, because the way I told the old story, when I started listening to it, I'm like, am I a fool? Like, I fell for that for the 800th time. And I mean, I knew in my gut when I was talking to these people and listening to them, and the job too, all the sunshine they start to blow, and you're like, okay, like, no, a big no. So that's when I made sure that my line was moved back right to where center is for me, where integrity and value is for me. And now I realized also through that conversation that I'm super on guard for other relationships and other friendships crossing those lines, because I'm looking for people to frickin' do it now, because I don't want it to go over that line. And I mean, the line technically is a little wavy and bendy depending on the situation, but it doesn't veer too much off a center ever. And if you find yourself in the same situation with somebody again and again and beating your head against the wall with the same type of conversations, the same type of fuck-ups that supposedly word has been given that will never happen again, and you're super important and all that other bullshit, unfortunately, you're the one that has to hard draw that line, because they're not going to. They're going to keep lying, keeping themselves in their comfort zone, gaslighting, all the other narcissistic behavior that happens. And you've got to be strong enough to say, no, fuck you. I fucking love you. I want you in my life. It feels good sometimes to have you in my life. In these situations, not at all whatsoever. And these things are so not okay that I'm willing within myself to let go these good things and stop trying to recapture these feelings with these certain people or this certain job, because it's not good for my soul. Yeah. So integrity bending, a huge no-no. So please have conversations with other people, or write it out, or talk it out in your car with yourself, or pretend you're talking to somebody in your car, so that you can get it out and really listen to it and see what you can adjust. Because waiting for the job to change, waiting for the friend to change, waiting for the person you're in a relationship to change, 99% of the time, it's not going to fucking happen, because you're the one doing the work. You're the one wanting the change. So you're the one that is required to change. And I mean, sadly enough, you can't fix said job, said relationship, said friendship. It's a two-way street. So if you're trying and you're doing the work and they're not, and they're just trying to keep stringing you along, it's not really a relationship. It's somebody using, or a job using another person. And so you have to protect you and walk away. So, I mean, big things, deep awarenesses come when you take a break and you connect with other people, when you truly listen to that story, and when you find out where your integrity lines are and you bring them back close to center, and you make things right for yourself again. And even though I know those feelings that you want to recapture are awesome, and you really truly fucking miss them, and you really truly love parts of that job, that relationship, that friendship, I fucking get it. But going into fantasy land in our head, or just remembering the good times, is not helpful at all whatsoever. A lot of times when I was starting to replay those old, fantasy memories, I would rock myself right back into, the betrayals and the letdowns and the lies and all the other things, just not to get myself depressed or pissed off again, but to keep myself balanced from, you know, it wasn't all hearts and fucking roses, and I can't pretend that it was. And even though I missed that part, this person also comes with all this other BS, and I don't accept that. My value and my worth is a lot fucking higher than that. And I'm going to go out and find people, jobs, situations that match up to where I am right now. And I did match up to those people in that job at one point, but it's obviously not where I am anymore, because things keep breaking down. So I need to move on, and I need to get myself into new situations. So value yourself enough to keep your integrity in check as much as possible. And don't beat yourself up when you find out that you were out of integrity. That's just like, you know, it's totally normal for hormones and adrenaline and all those happy hormones to just take over and make you a little you know, a little dim in picking up those things, and it makes you a lot more forgiving in letting go things that are done against you, really, or not for your best good, just for the other person's best good. So, you know, don't beat yourself up. Just like, I'm aware of it, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to move forward in better integrity and try to maintain that. And it's not my fault that hormones of love and excitement and connection are super fucking strong, and sometimes blind you to that. That's science, really. It's just part of who we are. So just be like, you know, okay, that's awesome. Happy hormones were happening at that point. Go me, that's sweet. Right now they're freaking not. And overall, I know this isn't good for me, so I'm going back into integrity. And then just keep moving. Like, I see a lot of people getting hung up and spending a lot of time on like being pissed at themselves and beating themselves up. And you can't change the past. You can't recapture the moments. You can't make different decisions in the past. You can only do it going forward. So just be like, okay, live and learn. I grew from that, and keep fucking moving. Don't get stuck and be more miserable than the person already, or the job was already making you, to hold you in a bad place for longer, when you have the power within you, and you have the key to make the choices, to make the different choices, to make the changes. So make the changes, stay in integrity, and just keep doing the work. And I know sometimes it feels hard, but it gets you to higher places with higher people. And I mean, in the end, it's all really super fucking worth it. It's just another level of peace, because when you're in integrity, you know, you feel at peace with yourself. So that is my wisdom from day 6. I will see you all on day 7. Have a fantastic long weekend. Thanks, Soul Warriors. Take care.